We've got 10 Premier League fixtures this weekend to preview and predict, with the pick of the bunch coming from that big game at the Stadium of Light as Sunderland host Newcastle United. But I got a question. Is it the Tyne Wear Derby or the Wear Tyne Derby? Because I've always called it the Tyne Wear Derby, but I'm seeing Wear Tyne being used this week. Does it depend on who's hosting the fixture? Does it depend on which fan base is discussing it? Sunderland fans, Newcastle fans, please let me know in the comment section below. Educate me if you don't mind. But as well as that massive game at this Stadium of Light, we've got a couple of big fixtures down at the bottom of the table as Burnley host Fulham and Brentford host Leeds United. I'm looking forward to getting into it. Before we do, let's take a look at last week's winner. Happy Hammer 9008. Congratulations. You are the winner from your predictions last weekend. And this is your prize. A shout out from a random Scotsman who chats nonsense on YouTube. Congratulations. They correctly predicted Aston Villa to beat Arsenal 2-1. So did some of us. We also correctly predicted that as well. We're good. We know our stuff. A lot of our Aston Villa subscribers on this channel also predicting Villa wins. However, Happy Hammer would go on to do better than all of us with the remaining fixtures. Correctly predicting Tottenham to beat Brentford, Bournemouth to draw with Chelsea, Newcastle to beat Burnley, Man City to beat Sunderland, Everton to beat Nottingham Forest, Leeds to draw with Liverpool. They had a terrific Saturday. Got all the predictions wrong on Sunday, which is a good thing, because they predicted Brighton to beat West Ham. But congratulations, Happy Hammer. You are the winner. However, I must say, collectively, it was a very poor effort from myself and you guys last week. The Tartan Geo subscribers, we were rubbish. The scores were 4, 5, 6. We need to do better this weekend. So let's get off to a winning start, shall we? As Chelsea host Everton, it's no win in 4 for the Blues in all competitions now. However, at Stamford Bridge, it remains a very difficult place to go, winning 5 of their last 7 with just 1 loss. But here's your first interesting fact of the weekend. Chelsea are yet to beat a side in the Premier League this season who are currently in the top 9. Now, I love it. I love that kind of stat. It's the top... they beat 10. Okay, let's just make it top 9. Because 9 is not a natural number. Top 9 isn't a natural number to take, is it? Top 8 feels like it is. Top half, certainly. But top 9, that's just definitely adjusting the numbers to suit your argument and to create a fact. But factually, it's true. Chelsea have not beat one of the teams currently in the top 9 of the Premier League. Coming up against an Everton side who are in good nick at the minute, winning 4 of their last 6, just 1 defeat in there, and picking up a lot of clean sheets as well. Everton, they're in good form. They've been creeping up that table. They're in a good position as well. David Moyes is speaking about European football being the ambition for Everton, and so it should. Difficult place to go though, Stamford Bridge. And I don't think historically, and this is my Claret and Blue specs here a little bit, when you went away, when we had David Moyes and we went away to Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U, Man City, it was a bit white flaggish. You never really felt that you could go there and win. But I don't have those specs anymore. I'm not an Everton fan. I don't have the blue ones anymore. He's not the West Ham manager. So I look at this through a different angle. I'm going to say Chelsea 0, Everton 1. Chelsea just don't feel trustworthy at the minute. Everton just feel like they're capable of grinding out results. I'm going to go for an Everton win. Off to Anfield as Liverpool host Brighton. Liverpool winless in 3 at Anfield, got that win during the week in the Champions League against Inter Milan, but it does feel like all eyes on Salah this weekend, his last game before he goes away to the African Cup of Nations. Jamie Carragher doing absolutely nothing to help the situation. Arne Slot doing absolutely nothing to help the situation. Former Liverpool players giving their opinions, which they are perfectly entitled to do so, I must add. But I think when the high-profile ones like Carragher, especially when Salah named Carragher directly, and then Carragher went on Monday Night Football and laid into him, and then Salah did his tweet, and Carragher said, I'm not wanting to win a game as much as this, they won, and he's doing another tweet about it. It's just the story on Saturday doesn't really feel like it's Liverpool against Brighton. It feels a bit like it's Arne Slot versus Mo Salah. Choose your fighter. Whose team are you on? I think he's going to get a lot of support from that home crowd on Saturday when he goes to warm up or whatever. I'm assuming he's going to be on the bench again if he's in the squad. Usually goals in this fixture, though. 20 goals in the last 5 head-to-heads. Brighton, iffy form at the minute, 1-2. Only 1 loss in 5, but they've only won 2. Like I keep saying, Brighton always feel a bit inconsistent to me. But this is definitely a game that Brighton can win. They were poor against West Ham last weekend, but at the minute, now I didn't see the game against Inter Milan, but at the minute, I don't think you have to be perfect to beat Liverpool. Leeds got a lot wrong against Liverpool and got a lot right, but it was enough to get a 3-3 draw. It feels a little bit like Szoboszlai FC at the minute, that he's the only player playing well and playing well consistently. I think Brighton are going to do it. I'm going to say Liverpool 1, Brighton 2, and I think Salah might have a smirk on his face as well. Off to Turf Moor then, as Burnley host Fulham. 6 losses in a row for Burnley now, and if Burnley lose, this will be the first time Burnley have lost 7 games in a row in the top flight since 1895. I don't know when they were formed. It couldn't have been far away from that. They were quite, at the start of the season, they had a little bit of fight about them. They got a couple of good results and stuff like that. They beat teams in and around them in the league, and it was enough to put points on the board and keep them at the bottom 3. And when West Ham weren't picking up results, Nottingham Forest weren't picking up results, but it feels like those two teams are now put a couple of wins together. It's pulled Burnley into the bottom 3. Parker, like I said in last week's preview, he just sounds a little bit defeated, which is the first time I've heard him say it, and this was before the Newcastle game. Now, I think he described the defeat away to Newcastle as gutsy, so that's better. That's better terminology to use. Taking on Fulham, 1 win, 1 draw, and 5 defeats away from Craven Cottage so far this season. They are down at the bottom table, and this feels like a bit of a must-win game for both of them. If Burnley are going to stay up, this is the type of game they've got to win, because if you can't beat the team that are just above them in the league, which is what Fulham are, forget the name Fulham for a second. What we've got Burnley, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Leeds, Fulham. They're only a few places ahead of them. They need to get the win here. Likewise does Fulham. But this is just a game that Fulham and Marco Silva win. Fulham have won their last 11 against promoted teams, and I struggle to see that changing on Saturday. As a West Ham fan, it's difficult to know what I want from this game. If Burnley win, great, Fulham are in it. Fulham win, great, that's Burnley further down. A draw is probably what I'm after, really. I just think Fulham will be fine long term. I struggle to see them getting relegated, but 15 games in the Premier League now, they're just there above us. It's hard to, my brain says, nah, Fulham aren't in the relegation battle. The league table says differently for now, but I think they'll get the win. I'm going to say Burnley 0, Fulham 1. Arsenal taking on Wolves. Arsenal have only won 2 of the last 5 league games. However, impressive again in the Champions League. And they may have to have a conversation about starting matchweek over Saka at some point, just in general, where not this game against Wolves, Saka will start. But when they've had a break and there's a week between games, and it's like, right, put out the strongest 11 in this match, at some point they may have to have that conversation. Matchweek is playing fantastically well at the minute in an Arsenal shirt. But for this one, it's just difficult to see. It's impossible to see beyond Arsenal. It's Arsenal. And I know they've only won 2 of the last 5. And I predicted the games that they wouldn't win, by the way. I've done all right in my Arsenal predictions. But they're still a very impressive team. Missing a few players, but you don't need to be. It's Wolves, right? Reason number 2, it's Wolves. They stink. Even Rob Edwards said it was like watching kids defend against Man U on Monday. They were awful, bar 10-15 minutes where they had a little bit of something about them and they got the equaliser just before after. The second half, that 45 minutes performance from Wolves was terrible. The opening goal was terrible. It was a crap goal. But it's Wolves. They've got 2 points. 15 games, 2 points. They stink, and they stink bad. Listen, Lynx Africa at Christmas ain't sorting out the stinkiness around them all in you at the minute. Arsenal 3. I've written down 3-0. I never changed my mind. Arsenal 3, Wolves 0. The last 4 away games, they've been beaten all 4 without scoring a goal. And I know they got one against Man U. but it's Man U, innit? This is Arsenal. It's just a completely different animal altogether. And this is, make no mistake about it, this is 100% a must-win for Arsenal. They want to win the league. I think you'll get away with losing away to Aston Villa. That's not an embarrassing result. Not beating Wolves is embarrassing. They have to beat Wolves, and I think they will, comfortably. Crystal Palace host Manchester City on Sunday. Goals in this one. 21 goals in the last 4 league games between the two teams. Not the FA Cup final, thank you very much. But Palace have not won a game after a Europa Conference League game on a Thursday night. I should make it clear I'm recording this on Thursday during the day, so Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, they've not played this evening yet, so I don't know the outcome of those games, but I want to record it Thursday, so it's up for longer and I get a few more views, right? Before Friday, the videos maybe had 1,000, 2,000 views or something like this. This is my bread and butter video on the channel, and I'm only doing 2-3 videos at the most a week. It's important I get up early as I can, right? And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Should have done that at the start of the video, really. Shouldn't have said it's Christmas. Give the gift of subscribing to my YouTube channel. That'd be a nice gift, wouldn't it? But please do subscribe and also drop a like on the video as well if you do enjoy the preview, but also get your predictions in below. See if you can beat Happy Hammer next week. Anyway, yeah, Crystal Palace, not very good after the Conference League. I don't think they were great against Fulham last weekend. It was a good win for them, pushed them up into 4th, I think, at the time. But it wasn't vintage Crystal Palace under Glasner. I think it was just doing enough against Fulham to get the win kind of thing. Manchester City, I enjoyed that game against Real Madrid. They still look... Man City's form is fantastic at the minute. You look at it and it's win, 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 draw, win, win, loss, win, win, win. So they're looking good. They're closing the gap on Arsenal. But they still don't feel convincing. Do you know what I mean? There's still something about them that they're just not... This ain't prime Pep Guardiola at Man City at the minute. Which, on one hand, you could say, well, wait until they do become prime Pep Guardiola and they're going to go on and win the league. On the other hand, it's maybe just not quite good enough yet. But when you've got Haaland, you've got Foden in the form he's in, it's hard for any team to stop him. I'm going to say Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 2. Nottingham Forest host Spurs. Forest feel a little bit wobbly. Like, let's just call it wobbly. 2 defeats in the last 3. And the one that they didn't lose was a win, and a scrappy win, I believe, against Wolves. Now, I haven't seen the last 3 Nottingham Forest games. TV scheduling, whatever, West Ham playing at the same time, various different reasons. I've just not seen Forest play. So I've had to rely on Nottingham Forest fans' opinions of the game. And I'm not feeling confident in them because of Nottingham Forest fans, right? You know, they weren't very happy about understandably getting smashed against Everton, but the performance and how they went about getting that defeat, the performance against Wolves, they won, but the reports, the feedback I got suggested that it was a bit of a terrible game of football and they'd done just as 2 bad teams, really. So it doesn't inspire me much, does it? Anyway, coming up against a Spurs team who've won back-to-back games. Can you believe it? They've won 2 games in a row for the first time since September. 3 months later, they've won back-to-back games. And in September, it was against West Ham and Villarreal, for anyone interested. Now, I haven't seen the last 2 games. I haven't avoided Spurs on purpose, I promise you. On Tuesday night when they played, I was watching West Ham under-21s beating Colchester in the EFL Trophy. A good game it was too, actually. So I haven't seen them, and I didn't see their game against Brentford. So Tottenham fans, don't worry, I'm not watching your game this weekend either. So you may not just... Maybe it's me. Maybe when I tune in, they're boring and crap. Maybe I'm the curse on Spurs. Tell you what, if they win this weekend, I'm going to make sure to catch their next game. Put that Geo voodoo on them so they don't win. Now, it wouldn't be a Tartan Geo preview show if we didn't have a 1-1, did it? Would it? I didn't really know how much 1-1s I predicted till that subscriber pointed out a couple of weeks ago. So, 1-1! But don't worry, that's my only 1-1 spoiler. Still got 3 games to go. I'm not predicting any more 1-1s, so I'm putting it in there. I'm going to go for 1-1 at the City Ground. Now we come on to Sunderland Newcastle. Oh, Oh, subscribers. I'm sad. I'm sad. Sunderland fans, I'm sad. Newcastle United fans, I'm sad. I can't watch it. I've been looking forward to this game since Sunderland got promoted, really. We all love a tasty game. And listen, let's just be very, very honest about this. Derbies ain't what they used to be. The North London Derby, it's not what it used to be, is it? There's no spice anymore. There's no aggression. When I watch a derby, I want to see tackles flying in. I want to see bookings. I want to see a couple of red cards. I want to see goals. Do you know what I mean? I just want like the equivalent of the chaos of a Royal Rumble in wrestling on the football pitch. Like that chaotic nature. That's why I want in a derby. I want the atmosphere ramped up. I like to put the TV volume a little bit higher on Derby Day usually. But the Manchester Derby, it's boring. It's done. Merseyside Derby, boring. It's done. In the Premier League, we don't get good derbies anymore. They don't exist. The better games are the rivalries. I don't know, if Leeds host Man U, something like that. I would look forward to that more than I would any of those derbies. I'm hoping that the Tyne Wear / the Wear Tyne Derby can inject a little bit of that. So I've been looking forward to this. 2 o'clock kick-off on Sunday. Same time as West Ham. God damn it. So I can't watch it. I'll be watching West Ham instead. So I'm really sad, actually. I just hope that the reverse fixture, which isn't that far away, might be actually. It's the last round of fixtures that are reversed soon, isn't it? We play Brighton soon, not Villa. Hopefully I can watch that one. Anyway, let's get to it then. Sunderland are only one of 2 teams unbeaten at home so far this season, winning 4, drawing 3. Arsenal, the other team for anyone interested. However, they've only won once in their last 6. Both statistics are true. Choose which side you want to look at. Coming up against the Newcastle side, who are 1 point behind Sunderland in the Premier League, 4 unbeaten going into this one. 3 wins, 2 draws and 1 defeat in 6. So they're in decent nick, Newcastle. Anyway, here's 2 interesting facts that go hand in hand. Sunderland have won 12 points after going behind in the Premier League so far this season, which is the most out of any team in the Premier League. Newcastle United have dropped 11 points from winning positions so far this season in the Premier League, more than any other team in the Premier League. So we know what's going to happen, don't we? Newcastle are going to be leading and Sunderland are going to equalise. And I think the game is going to end in a draw. I'm going to say Sunderland 2, Newcastle United 2. Now, for what it's worth, I think Sunderland, a little bit fortunate, aren't they, to lose 6-7 players to African Cup of Nations after this fixture. Could you imagine this game was next week? Oh, think you'd be going for a Newcastle win, wouldn't you? So it's sort of like the talk. I can just imagine what the team talk. You Granit Xhaka, you're in the changing room, you're pointing at the players going to African Cup of Nations. You're just telling them, go out there and give them that performance to say goodbye. You're only going away for 6 weeks or something, but go say goodbye to those Sunderland fans by leaving everything on that pitch. Tell you what, Granit Xhaka was someone that understood a derby. He was someone that got his sleeves rolled up and his socks dirty in a derby against Spurs. I don't know if he's got sent off against Tottenham. I'd be surprised if he hadn't. Not that if he had, I'd be surprised if there was no red cards for Granit Xhaka. In fact, I'm going to go have a look. I'll put in the pinned comments below where you find the predictions. I'm going to write if Granit Xhaka got sent off against Spurs. He's someone that understands derbies. He will be right up for this, and I think he's going to get his players up for it. I'm almost talking myself into a Sunderland victory here, but I'm not, because as we've already established, I don't change my mind. Once it's written down, that's it. My team take on Aston Villa. Here's 2 statistics that are both true. West Ham United have only lost 1 in 6. Fantastic form. West Ham United have not won a game in their last 4. Terrible form. Both things are true. Welcome to the world of stats. Coming up against Aston Villa now. Well, with Sunderland and West Ham, you can make us look good or bad, depending what one you want to do. With Villa, there's no making them look bad. They just look good. Doesn't matter what statistic you pull out for Villa, they look good. Won the last 7. Obviously, again, don't know what they've done on Thursday night. Winning 13 of 15, the most informed team in the Premier League, beating Arsenal last weekend. There's not even a glimmer of hope Like, as a West Ham fan, there's not something I can latch on to and go, well, that's the reason we're going to win this weekend. I mean, it's our form to some extent, but it feels quite weak. I think we're playing all right at the minute, West Ham. I don't think we're playing terrible. The fans are split in regards with our performances. I'm on the side that we're doing all right. To sum it up, I think Nuno keeps playing Nottingham Forest tactics from last season without the players to play Nottingham Forest tactics. Right, we take the lead and sit back, and I think hopefully after the January transfer window we'll become better at it. But we're not there yet. I'm going to say West Ham United 1, Aston Villa 2. I'd be happy with a point now. I'm just setting my stall out now. You offer me a point to not play the game, I'd take it. Brentford host Leeds United. I'm looking forward to this one, actually, because Brentford are just slipping a little bit. That gap is just getting a bit shorter every weekend now, because it's only 1 win and 3 losses in 4 for Brentford. However, at home, in that win, I should add, came against Burnley. However, at home at the G-Tech Community Stadium, only Manchester City have picked up 3 points. So they're very much a home team. Lost every game away from home except against West Ham, of course. But they're back on home turf. Coming up against Leeds United, who have lost 6 of 7 aways, and that win came against Wolves. Important context for both of those there. Now, Leeds have done a little bit better recently. A spirited defeat against Manchester City, beating Chelsea, drawing against Liverpool. But I don't know. I think the way that Leeds are currently playing with this 3-5-2, number one, I think Farke's a little bit unsure on it. It felt like he did it because it was the last roll of the dice. 2-0 down against Man City. I might as well try it. And it worked. But he reverted back against Liverpool and he got the equaliser. So I think it's going to play with his head. Does he stick with his 3-5-2 or does he go back to his sort of 4-3-3 formation? And also, even if they did stick with it and they kept going direct and going long, I think Brentford will be okay with it. I think Ayer, Van den Berg, Collin, they'll be fine with those long balls. They'll be fine with Nemecha or Okafor and Calvert-Lewin. I think they'll be okay with them. But going forward, they've got Shada, Utara, Thiago. That's a great front three. And I think Brentford will just have too much for Leeds, actually. Again, I don't know what score I want here. I don't know what outcome I want. Brentford win, brilliant. And you come Leeds, draw, keeps Brentford just not that far away on the horizon. A Leeds win, I don't want that. That sounds bad. I don't want a Leeds win. I need Brentford to probably win, if not draw. I can accept that. No Leeds win. Sorry, Leeds fans, but it's the same backwards, right? You don't want us to beat Villa. Let's be realistic about it. You want Villa to thump us, and so you should. Be selfish. You're a Leeds fan. And on Monday night, we've got Manchester United hosting Bournemouth. Man United, the form guide's really good. They've won 5 of 9, losing just 1. It's great. But does anyone really trust them? I mean, at half-time in the All News, 1-1 against that crap Wolves team. They didn't look great against us. Got beat by 10-men Everton. Don't know, you just can't trust this Man U team. Coming up against the Bournemouth side, though, 2 points in 6. They're not in great form. But I thought, albeit only via the highlights, I thought Semenyo looked good against Chelsea. I've seen a lot of people selling him on Fantasy League. Now, I'm the last person you should take Fantasy League advice from. And I'm waiting to prove it. I'm keeping Semenyo. I think he's going to score on Monday night. There you go. I'm going to say 2-2 at Old Trafford on Monday evening. But I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys for joining me. Please do get involved by giving me your predictions. The list is in the description in the pinned comments. Please copy and paste them below with your score predictions. And then this video next week, the winner will get a shout out from a random Scottish person on YouTube. Wonder who that can be. Catch you in a bit.